Welcome to Green Time. I'm host Don Fitz. This episode we're going to be talking about residential energy efficiency. And with me I have a couple of people who have done a lot of work in the topic. I have Jessica Freiberger. Am I pronouncing that right, Jessica?
Yes, thank you.
With PCAC. And in just a second I'm going to ask you what PCAC does. But first of all I want to say Connie Taylor with the Urban League.
Yes.
Now people have heard of the Urban League, but they might have forgotten. So could you tell us a little bit about what the Urban League does in general, and then more specifically what it does about concerning home energy efficiency?
Wonderful. The Urban League has been in St. Louis since 1919. We have been around for a long time.
Almost a century.
Almost a century, and we'll be celebrating that soon. But we offer programs that really help build a community with the focus on African Americans, but it's open to everyone to empower families to be able to be more self-sufficient in their lives through job training programs, through energy assistance, through Head Start and other educational programs, and through residential weatherization.
So I would guess if you want to be more economically self-sufficient, it might be better instead of having $300 energy bills per month if you had $50 to $100 energy bills per month.
Absolutely. We find, especially with our low-income families, that they spend, and I say we spend a higher proportion of our income on utility bills. So if there is a way to reduce that burden, people are making decisions between heating and eating. So we like to put families in a position where they can do both.
Right. That's great. And Jessica Freiberger, the People's Community Action Corporation.
Correct.
Can you tell us something about what you do, what the PCAC does, People's Community Action Corporation, what it does in general, and how this relates to energy efficiency?
Sure, absolutely. We actually have a fairly similar mission in that we are trying to help people reach self-sufficiency as well. For those who might not be familiar with PCAC or Community Action, we are basically the new HDC, the new service provider for the city of St. Louis. Okay. So we provide services to low-income residents of the city. And in terms of energy efficiency, we teach monthly classes at all three of our sites. To residents, and we also partner with organizations like the Urban League with different programs to help reduce utility debt and help people become more energy efficient.
Okay, so the people who you are working with are generally not people in large, expensive homes. They're generally people who are struggling to get by, and you're helping them meet those bills. And it fits into your overall framework to help them use their utilities and other appliances much more efficiently.
Absolutely. As Connie said, people are really struggling, and we try to help them, teach them ways that they can save on their utilities, and that we've also found that kind of creates almost sort of a savings mindset where people are then able to apply that to other parts of their life and help them lift themselves out of poverty.
Right. And so I guess one little thing like that would be like if you leave the house, you don't leave the thermostat up at 68 or 70 degrees. You might want to turn it down to 50 or 55 degrees.
Absolutely.
I don't know how many times I've been in people's homes.
Oh my goodness.
Where that just shocks me. You know, friends of mine who are having trouble paying their bills and complain about the bills, and then if you leave your thermostat up to 70 in the winter, you know, set the air conditioner on when you leave in the summer. You know, you're winterizing or cooling a house which is where there's nobody there. Okay, well, Connie, tell me, and actually this is to both of you, do low-income people generally understand these issues, or do you have a hard time reaching a low-income community?
You know what, we found that there are people who are very aggressive and very passionate about trying to find ways to reduce their energy debt and save money, and they're taking good care of their homes, and they're trying to find out the most effective ways to take the best care of their home. But there's always an opportunity for continued education, and I'm probably going to sound like an old fogey, but especially with some of our younger families that are new to parenting or new to education, sometimes things like energy efficiency can take a back burner, and so we try to help raise these issues across the board.
Jessica, what's your experience?
My experience has been that when you frame it in a manner of this is how you can save on your utility bills, that's when the light bulb clicks, and that's what people can really relate to. And so that's how we try to frame our classes. And the broader benefit is that everyone benefits when even just one person conserves. So it doesn't really matter so much how you frame it as long as you can get the message across and people actually do it.
Well, that's great. And so why has a PCAC prioritized energy efficiency as one of its themes?
Well, because we've prioritized energy efficiency because we've seen that there is such a need for it in the community. Most of the people that we're working with are living in substandard housing where the landlord doesn't necessarily keep the property maintained like he should. And so it's important that people understand that there are actions and steps that they can take, that they can control to lower their utility bills regardless of the type of living situation that they have.
I have to agree. Weatherization is a true tool of empowerment. It's sustainable.
Absolutely.
It's something that can continue, and once you see the benefits, you want to keep reaping those benefits, and you become interested in things that you can do on your own to keep it going.
Right. In early 2014, Green Time did a show with the first passive house that was built in St. Louis, and I was just asking both of you before we started if you had heard of a passive house, and that's a very interesting design because it doesn't require a heater, it doesn't require a furnace, and it doesn't require air conditioner. You just build the house so tight, that the sun comes in the summer, through the glass panes that you close off in the winter. You get the sunlight, and then you want to close off the sunlight in the summer. And just having a small, compact house will mean that you can then pay zero heating and zero cooling, and it's just it's usually something that is associated with people with more money because they cost 10 to 15% more. But I think, to me, it seems like something that really should be made available to low-income people. Because in the long run, the low-income people are going to be hurt the most when they don't have access to something like that, and they could be actually paying more in utility bills than people with high income.
And in fact, we see that currently now as it is. Most people don't realize that one of the leading causes of homelessness in St. Louis is utility debt. And because people who lose their homes that way are not able to get into another place because they have thousands and thousands of dollars worth of bills. So one of the things that we do is we try to reach out and teach energy efficiency classes at the homeless shelters. So even though when they do get a new home, they're able to break that cycle and hopefully conserve energy and not have that utility debt again.
Do either of you ever look at the way that homes are constructed? Because, I mean, what shocks me in riding around St. Louis is I look at some of the older homes and they have the roof overhang so that the sun doesn't get into the windows, and the newer homes don't. The roof just ends right at the line of the wall. And then the older homes will have various ways that the wind can blow through the home. And the newer homes tend not to do that. And it's like sometimes the homes that were built before 1950 were built so that they would have thick bricks, for the winter. But so is there any push to require people to construct homes so that they are energy efficient?
Well, I know with our weatherization program, really understanding St. Louis housing stock has been an important factor. And having the experience, we've been doing weatherization for over 20 years. So having experience really helps to help us to provide the most viable solutions for those homes. But it's a double whammy for a lot of our elderly patients, or our elderly families that have these older homes. I mean, they're the ones, they grew up in these homes, and they cost a lot in terms of energy.
Absolutely, and one of the saddest things that I find in a lot of low-income areas that I've seen is a relative absence of trees. And for summertime, that's one of the best ways to air is to have something like an attic fan and trees to block the sunlight. is as important as weatherization in the wintertime. Okay, we're going to take a break to see a short movie which will talk about how a person, my generation home energy efficiency, which describes a person having a job with a weatherizing agency and what it means for him. We'll be back in just a moment.
My name is Steven Safel. I work for the Department of Water and Power through the weatherization program. Been working for about 7 months, putting in windows, light bulbs, smoke alarms, all the CFLs, which are the compact fluorescent light bulbs. What we did here today at this residence is we installed fixed windows, and what they do is when we do the caulking around the outside, what they do is they restrict the amount of air. So if you're running your air conditioning, using the electricity running your air conditioning, you don't have to use as much because you don't have it escaping to the outside. I feel that it's a great job because not only is it good income, but we're also we're helping the environment a lot by saving electricity and water usage. So it's definitely helping out the economy, not only the residents, but just the overall environment. This job has changed my life dramatically. I'm able to support my family and my newborn baby, which I wasn't able to do at my old jobs. I was struggling to get by. Now I'm not really having to worry about that because I make a good income. I'm looking forward to pursuing my career with the DWP.
The Sierra Club is the largest and most influential grassroots environmental organization in the United States. If you care about clean air, clean water, and preserving open space, join the Sierra Club. In Missouri, the Sierra Club's projects include promoting energy efficiency and clean power sources like wind and solar, cleaning up air pollution by retiring dirty, outdated, coal-fired power plants, protecting Missouri's parks like the Ozark National Scenic Riverways. We need you to get more involved. To join the Sierra Club, make a donation, or to find out about Sierra Club events in your area, visit our website at www.missouri.sierraclub.org or call us at 314-644-1011.
We are the Junior Black Chamber of Commerce, an organization that's creating the business leaders of tomorrow. Catch our new television series, Harambe 101, on Green Time TV. We want to thank all the business professionals who gave up their time mentoring what promises to be the next generation of movers and shakers. You too can help save the future of our underserved communities by supporting the Junior Black Chamber of Commerce with your charitable contributions. And remember, what you give today will help make a brighter future tomorrow.
Send your donations to the JBCC at P.O. Box 35257, St. Louis, Missouri 63135.
Welcome back to Green Time. I'm host Don Fitz. I hope that you enjoyed that very brief movie, My Generation Home Energy Efficiency. I have guests today who have put a lot of thought into the issue of energy efficiency. I have Connie Taylor with the Urban League, and I have Jessica Freiberger with People's Community Action Corporation. Now, we talked before about what each one of your organizations do in general, but Connie, could you give us an idea of what the Urban League does on a particular house? You just go to a house in the city, St. Louis, and what would you do there?
Well, one of the most important aspects of weatherization and the work that we do really starts with the home energy audit. We do a very comprehensive audit to look at the air quality, to look at potential air leakages, to measure the efficiency of the heating appliances, the furnace, and the hot water tank. And we do a very thorough audit to assess what the needs actually are.
That's what I needed in my home about 25 years ago when I bought it, because we had these wonderful, beautiful, I forget what they're called, but the windows where you crank it out.
Oh, yeah.
And it was just wonderful. But in the winter, we had a winter where it was like about 0 degrees
Oh,
for
my
a day.
goodness.
And you could stand by that and you could just feel the icy air blow through it. And so what we ended up doing was spending hundreds of dollars to get all of those windows replaced.
Ooh.
And I mean, they looked a lot prettier than the ones where you pull up and down, but
They cost you.
well, I mean, in the long run, we pay more.
Right.
We paid less because the energy savings is so much
Right.
to have the windows replaced. then our heating bills went down. So I mean, an energy audit, I just endorse 100%.
Right, and that's just really trying to collect the best data to put together the best solution for the home. Then we actually plug in the information from the energy audit into software that helps us to identify the most cost-effective scope to provide energy savings in the home. And some of those measures can include insulation, it could be furnace repair or replacement, it could be hot water tank repair or replacement, dryer venting, where there could be a lot of loss in air leakage as well. And it's really exciting to see the outcome. You know, folks are really excited that someone's investing in their home, but then it's also educating the resident on how to keep it going, how to keep changing air filters on a monthly basis, and that you don't have to go and buy the most expensive air filter to get the best results in your home. Just become
that's an important point, because I mean, some things you do want to get the more expensive product. Other things, they're exactly the same, and the generic label might mean that you save 80% on the product that you're purchasing. So working with the Urban League might be very, very helpful to people.
Exactly.
Okay, Jessica, you know something about a healthy home, don't you?
Yes,
and does that have anything to do with energy efficiency?
It does. So a healthy home in general is one that is not going to make you sick. We here in St. Louis practically face an epidemic of asthma, and people who have asthma and allergies and suffer from other diseases often don't realize that the causes for those diseases are lurking everywhere that are around them, and especially in their own homes. So with healthy homes, we try to educate people on how to improve their indoor air quality and reduce toxins in their home. And that goes along with energy efficiency, because there's a lot of overlap. So for instance, you mentioned furnace filters. That's a key part of being energy efficient, because you want to make sure the appliance is working at its maximum capacity. It's also part of a healthy home, because if you have a dirty air filter and you've got air, the fan blowing through it, that can cause mold to grow on the coils of the thing and then spread throughout your house.
Absolutely, mold is a big problem. Connie, I wanted to ask you, is the Urban League able to hire community people to do this, or do they have to go to the surrounding communities and out of state to hire people?
We've been really fortunate that we've been able to hire people right here in the St. Louis area, and we actually offer weatherization services in East St. Louis, Illinois, so we've been able to hire residents of the area as well. They go through the training. They're BPI certified, which means that folks, they're going through a home with knowledge and with expertise to really be able to give the best overall solution. So yes, we've been really excited about being able to hire folks from right here in our area, and they have a vested interest in seeing the community improve.
Okay, and Jessica, I wanted to ask you, tell us a little bit about the energy efficiency classes that you've been teaching.
Sure, so we teach energy efficiency classes monthly at our 3 main sites and at a homeless shelter. We average about 30 students throughout the city each month. And we cover the basics, like you said, unplugging your appliances when they're not in use, how to use compact fluorescents. We also...
do you ever talk about LEDs?
A little bit, yeah.
They're expensive, but it's really frustrating,
light.
Because we had to get away from incandescents and go to fluorescent, and no sooner had we bought all the fluorescents than I had somebody in this show saying, get rid of your fluorescents and get LEDs,
right.
which are vastly more efficient.
Absolutely. But baby steps, right? And then we also cover the more advanced concepts, like what an R value is, and how to choose different quality products. And every person who comes to our classes gets a goodie bag. We give them plastic window sheeting and CFLs, and we even have a whistle you can put on your furnace filter that'll whistle to remind you that it's time to change it.
I need one of those.
Take that.
And we've seen a lot of success. We started doing joint healthy homes and energy classes because they are so related.
They go hand in hand.
And we've actually also started doing joint energy and financial literacy classes. Again, trying to create that kind of savings mindset to help people lift themselves out of poverty. And then in addition to that, now anyone who comes to any of our life skills classes that we offer also earns PCAC bucks for the new secondhand store that we've just opened at our location. That is just for our clients.
Okay. Now, since both of you have been involved in teaching people, I'm going to put you on the spot. I almost never do this with guests, but I'll ask you: have you ever heard of the rebound effect with energy efficiency?
Just when you mentioned it.
Okay. The rebound effect is when people know that they're using energy more efficiently, which means that it's cheaper. And so since energy is then cheaper, since it's more efficient, then they start to use more and more of it.
I'm familiar with that with weight loss. When I lose weight, I tend to eat more. That's new for me.
Now, let me ask you this. There's a study in Texas done in 2008 where they weatherized people's homes, and after the people's homes were weatherized, people used just as much energy as they did before. Why would that happen? And you need to know this for your class.
Again, I think education is a key,
but
key
what
component.
would they do? Why would a weatherized home use just as much energy to air condition as an unweatherized home?
I'm going to defer to you.
Okay, it's because they found that people turned their thermostat down 2 degrees. And that's what I think that's going to be less likely to happen with low-income people. But one of the things that I worry about with middle and high-income people is that you have a home, you figure out how to be more efficient, and then you just, energy's cheaper now, I can just use more of it. I can go out and buy more appliances. I can turn my thermostat down. I can down in the summer. I can turn my thermostat up in the winter. And I think the tendency to do that would be a very important part of an energy efficiency program.
Yeah, and absolutely. Education is needed regardless of your income level.
The education piece and experience. I can think of a situation where we had a family that was displaced because their gas was off in the winter when it was 10 below zero. And they were able to raise some of their own funds. We were able to provide energy assistance through our Light Heat program, and they got their gas back on. But when they moved back into their home, their 16-year-old son became the energy czar in the house. And he was like, I don't ever want to be homeless again. So he turns the lights off. He makes sure people are being energy efficient.
Let me ask you this. Does he make sure that people do not stand in the door with the door open in the middle of winter when it's 0 degrees outside and you let all the heat blow out?
That's I don't know if he does that, but his mom says that he's really big on socks and putting on a sweater when they get cold.
That's where I'm the energy czar at. I can't stand to have the doors open and the heat or the cool go out the door. Okay, we're going to take another break, and we're going to look at a brief Sierra Club movie. Clean energy is winning when. So let's take a break, and we'll be back in just a minute.
What if we were served a side of truth?
I'll take a super bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich.
Okay, that'll be meat from a pig who can't even turn around, an egg from a bird kept in a cage so small she can't spread her wings, and the milk of a cow whose calf is taken at birth to make veal.
Ma'am?
Since 1990, the Gateway Green Alliance has worked on environmental and social justice campaigns in St. Louis.
The Gateway Greens have brought dedicated activists to speak at Black and Green Wednesday programs, the annual Pesto Feast, Martin Luther King Day, May Day, and Kwanzaa celebrations.
The Gateway Green Alliance is best known for opposing genetically contaminated foods. We invite activists and scholars from around the world to participate in safe food action and bring their creative art.
We need your support to keep going. Please send your $60 membership check or your $30 low-income check. Best of all, come to a Black and Green Wednesday program, 7:30 p.m. on the first Wednesday of the month at Legacy Books and Cafe.
Welcome back to Green Time. I'm host Don Fitz. We're talking about energy efficiency in the home. I have a couple of guests with me who are going to make some final statements. Connie Taylor, what do you think is the most important thing for the viewer to take with them?
Well, I think two things they can take with them is that they can apply for energy assistance through the Urban League. They can go online and learn about us from by going to ulstl.org, and they can get information about our weatherization program, or they can call us at 615-3600. But most importantly, you can take ownership in making a difference in the energy efficiency of your home. There are things that you can do. You can learn through the classes we teach at the Urban League and with Peoples, but there is an opportunity to be a good steward of your home.
Jessica Freiberger, what's the most important thought for the viewer to take with them?
I completely agree, so I will just say that people can find out more information about us on our website as well, which is pcac.stl.org, and or they can reach us at our office if you're interested in energy efficiency. Our office phone number is 314-862-6270, and there is absolutely you can take control of your own energy.
Fantastic. I want to thank both of you for coming to Green Time. I want to remind our viewers that there's a lot of things that you can do to reduce the use of energy in your home, and a lot of things to do to conserve energy. And one of the things that you can do is to get used to hot weather and get used to cold weather, so you don't have to always have your house really hot in the winter and really cool in the summer. I want to thank everyone for tuning in to this episode of Green Time. I want to invite everybody to tune into Green Time. If you look at this station at the same time next week, you'll be able to see the next Green Time episode. Thanks a lot.